Hi, thank you for joining me. I'm Melissa Inman. I'm the Procurement Card Manager for the Office of Procurement and Contracts. And today I'm going to talk to you about the Procurement Card Basics. The Mississippi State Procurement Card, also known as the Pro Card, is designed to provide a convenient and efficient method of payment for small dollar purchases of goods and services to any vendor that accepts Visa. Mississippi State considers anything that's $5,000 or less small dollar. Full-time faculty or staff are eligible for a procurement card. There's a cardholder application and agreement to be completed and signed by the cardholder. Approval is required from the respective department head. If it is the department head that is applying for the card, then their respective VP or dean would need to sign. Once you complete your application, you will either send it to us by campus mail to 9718 or email the procurement card helpline at procardhelp@procurement.msstate.edu. There is a test that the cardholder is required to pass before the card will be released. Once you take the test and it's passed, the cardholder administrator will be notified when the card is ready for pickup in our office. Pro cards are activated in our office before being released to the department. If you have a card that is expiring, they are automatically renewed and an application is not required. Cardholder's monthly credit limit is based on the department's monthly spending needs. All cards have a single transaction limit of $5,000. Any transaction that's over $5,000 requires 2 signed quotes and approval from your purchasing manager. Food purchases are allowed on the MSU procurement card. You can purchase food from a grocery store, you can go to a restaurant, or you can have it catered. It must serve a legitimate business purpose. Please make sure you have an itemized receipt for each transaction. No alcohol is allowed, and we ask that you keep tips at 20% or less. If you have an instance where you have a tip that's more than 20%, please give written justification. Food forms are a simple who, what, where, when, and why that are required for each food purchase. You may not use the procurement card while you're in travel status for food purchase forms. Hotel charges are allowed for anybody except for MSU employees. If you have potential job applicants, visitors, or speakers coming in, you are more than welcome to place them on the procurement card. It's for the room charge only, no incidentals. We have a hotel form that you are required to fill out. It also asks for the name and a purpose. Please make sure you give a detailed purpose. State contract items are purchased with the procurement card. State contract items are defined as items that are frequently purchased. The cardholder must contact the state contract specialist for approval or provide proof of correct state contract pricing when you're making a purchase with your procurement card. Some items that are frequently asked about if you can pay with the procurement card are utilities, shipping, software, memberships, rentals. If you're purchasing a membership, please make sure you have a membership dues form. Rentals of space, equipment, and automobiles are okay. Automobile rental, though, is only for day trips only. You can use the procurement card to post job advertisements. Make sure you have your HR generalist approval. Student travel is allowed on the procurement card. You can pay for anything for a student on the procurement card. You can pay for their hotel, you can pay for their food, and their entrance into attractions. Our prohibited items are gasoline for any vehicle, alcohol, travel expenses, gifts to employees, personal purchases, and cash advances. Any travel-related charge must go through the travel department. Decline transactions. The most common reason for your card to be declined is your monthly credit limit. Single transaction limit has been exceeded, the incorrect expiration date or CVC code is being used, or someone who falls on the restricted vendor list. Restricted vendors are vendors who we would typically not do business with, like liquor stores, cigar stores, massage parlors. Jesus Christ. If you have any questions about why your card is being declined, you can contact us by emailing the procurement card helpline at procardhelp@procurement.msstate.edu. So the equipment card is for inventory items. Anything that falls on inventory can be put on the equipment card. Receiving and property control says that anything that has a life value of a year or a value of $1,000 or more is considered equipment. Most of the things that we buy, though, fall on the exception list, and that's going to be computers, TVs, tablets, cameras. Those things are going to be at $250. We have to have ITS approval for anything that's going to be over $5,000. So there's like a life cycle analysis form that you have to fill out. If it's going to be over $5,000, you're going to need your purchasing manager's approval. So once you get your purchasing manager approval, they actually send it to ITS to get it approved. So we only allow one equipment card per org. Equipment cards are only issued in the department head's name. It's for equipment purchases only, so it goes back to that anything that has the life expectancy of a year or $1,000 or more, or if it falls on that exception list. And these cards are different from regular cards because they have a default account code of 408290 instead of being based on what vendor you're using. The account code 408290 is a federal equipment account code. So a federal equipment code would be anything that has a value of $5,000 or more. That's what the federal, the feds think that anything equipment is $5,000 or more, whereas Mississippi says $1,000 or more. And then we have our own rules and regulations that we have that say some things should be $250 and not $1,000. So the 408290 is just a forced code, but it is a federal equipment code, so that's why it will need to be changed. Okay, so description of the item is required when you're keying your journal voucher and making your payment for this. That way, everything loads in with just the vendor name, but you can buy anything from Walmart, so I need a description in the description line that says this is what we're purchasing so that I know that you're purchasing a computer, that you're coding it correctly. So whenever it's time to make the payment, we're going to change that account code and we're going to put a description in so that I know that it's coded correctly. If you're using 30 funds or restricted funds, you have to have sponsor programs approval if the single item is over $5,000. If it's less than $5,000, they don't want to see it. If it's over $5,000, you have to fill out the equipment requisition form and send it to the SPA accounting at controller.msstate.edu. And then anytime equipment is purchased, we have to fill out a property acquisition form. And the property acquisition form is to tell receiving and property control where that piece of equipment is going to be located. Gift cards, they have to be for a lawful purpose that supports the mission of MSU. So you can't give out gift cards based on academic achievement because those things have to go through financial aid. So anytime that you want to make a purchase of a gift card, you would need to fill out an authorization form and you send it to the procurement card manager. They will review it and then approve it on a case-by-case basis. If you purchase a gift card without receiving approval first, it will be noted in your procurement card audit as violation of policy. We would expect you to still fill out the disbursement log and the acceptance agreement and send it to procurement. If you're purchasing a gift card that's over $100, you have to have written justification from your VP or dean, and then you would send that justification and the authorization form to the procurement card manager. Gift cards should be purchased on an as-needed basis, so we don't want people going out there and buying 50 gift cards for no reason whatsoever. We need them to be as needed. And the administrators are responsible for all the gift cards. So we ask that you fill out a disbursement log and the acceptance agreement. And so what we're going to do is we're going to review those to your receipt saying that you purchased 10. We're going to see that you gave out 10. If you're missing one, the card administrator is going to be responsible for the missing card. The reconciliation of the gift card should be sent to the procurement card manager each month. We request that they're in by the 10th of the following month whenever gift cards are purchased or distributed. Audits. All cards are audited at least once every 6 months and more frequently if necessary. We will notify the card administrator when we're ready for the audit to be delivered. We usually give you about a week to prepare your audit and have it delivered to our department. We do look at 100% of the transactions. So the order of the audit should be print out of the JV, which is FWGDTPC. You'd want a copy of your statement with 2 signatures, one who reconciled it and one who approved, 1 copy of the invoice, and then also any form that would be required to accompany the invoice. So food form, hotel form, membership dues forms, equipment requisition form, or property acquisition form. If you had to obtain approval from your purchasing manager for a purchase over $5,000, or approval from state contract office, or approval from HR for job advertisements, you would also want to include those in your audit. But this is all the paperwork that we want. We don't want all the confirmation emails and the credit card slip, all that extra information. We don't want that with your paperwork. So in your audit, all your receipts must be itemized. Please do not cut receipts, and please do not tape over receipts. If you tape over thermal receipts, it makes the writing fade away, and then we can't view the itemization. Make sure that you don't have sales tax in the state of Mississippi. Your food, hotel, membership dues forms must be completed for each purchase. This also includes getting both signatures on these forms, and it cannot be the same person to sign both lines. Property acquisition forms are required with equipment purchases, so make sure you put a copy in with your audit. Your approval emails from purchasing manager, state contract specialist, or human resources as needed. Procurement card statements are accessible on the 18th of each month. So the procurement card closes on the 17th. If the 17th falls on a weekend, if it falls on a Saturday, they will actually close on Friday on the 16th. If the 17th falls on a Sunday, they will push it to Monday, so it'll be on the 18th. That's the closing day, and the day after is when you can access those statements. So the statements can be accessed at www.card-data.com/regions, card management system, /security, /login.aspx. If you're a new user and you need access to view statements, you can fill out an online statement access form and send it to the ProCard helpline. It'll ask you for your name and your email address so that we can set you up, and then you'll need to list what cards you need access to, and it'll be just the last 4 digits of those cards. The journal voucher to pay your ProCard is also available on the 18th of each month. The procurement card manager will send an email notification when JVs are ready to be processed. Please do not start your JV until you've received the email stating the JVs are available for processing. If you do not receive notification from us, please send an email to the ProCard helpline, and in the request to receive the emails from the listserv, include your name, department, and email address. In the email that I send to you, we have a deadline as to when your JVs need to be completed. If they aren't completed by the deadline, we close the cards for your department. And it's not just the cards that are associated with that journal voucher, it is all cards for your department. If you have if you're late 1 to 2 times in a 12-month period, we close your card for 1 day. If you're late 3 times in a 12-month period, we close your card for 7 days. 4 times is 30 days, and 5 times we close the cards down, and we have a meeting with you and your department head, and we determine the future of the cards. It is the department's responsibility to make sure that the document makes it through all approval queues. You can go into FOAAINP when in Banner to see whose approval queue your document is in. The queues are set up in alphabetical order, so when you're looking at them, there's queue levels. You can scroll through those. Even if the invoice final queue is at the very top, you want to make sure that there's no other queues below it. If you have any below it or above it, then you can scroll through there and they'll list out who can approve those documents for you. If the approver is saying that they can't see the document in their queue, ask them to uncheck the next approver box in FOA UAPP. This happens when you share a charge with another department where you use their fund or their org, and it routes to their approver's approval queue. Check Banner messages for disapproved documents. If you have any questions about your JV, you can contact the ProCard helpline. Best practices. Please do not cut or tape over writing of receipts. If you tape over receipts, it does make the writing fade. If you provide the credit card slip, it should not cover the itemization. Itemization needs to be on the very top. If you're purchasing something that looks odd, please give a brief description of the item and the purpose of the purchase. If on the itemization it only gives an item number and it doesn't have any description on there, please just make a little note on the invoice with the description. Each statement should have your 2 signatures on there. Make sure to keep a sign in and out log for all cards. We want to make sure that you're checking out and checking in cards. The university, we don't recommend anybody walking around with a credit card in their wallet. And please do not email full credit card numbers. We discourage any recurring payments. We want you to have access to each of those payments and whether you're paying it or not. So we really ask that you don't set up recurring payments. Car rentals are for day trips only. So if you're going to have a meeting and you're going to just go to that meeting in Jackson and then you come back and you're not going to incur any other travel related charges, then you can put the car rental on the procurement card. But anything more than a day needs to go through the travel department. You cannot put gas in any vehicle on the procurement card. You can, however, put gas in a lawnmower or a blower or any type of outdoor equipment. If you have a gift card, you have to make sure that it's been approved by the procurement card manager before you make your purchase. Please do not put money in with your audit documentation. If you have something that needs to be reimbursed, you would fill out a cash receipt voucher and you would send it in to account services. And then you can put a copy of the cash receipt voucher in with the audit documentation. Be consistent with the placement of your forms. So we want, if you're going to put all of your forms behind the invoice, then make sure that each time you put it behind. If you want to put them on front of each of the invoices, that's fine, but just make sure you're consistent. Either put them before or behind. Do not provide excess paperwork with your audit. So we just need the invoice, those required forms, and any approval that you had to get. The order of your audit is JV, statement, invoices, which we want in the order of the statement, and any required forms and approvals. Procurement and Contracts encourages you to change the account codes on all card purchases when you're keying the journal voucher. but we require that you change account codes when you're using the equipment card. If you have fraud on your card, you will remove the charge from your journal voucher. Then the following month, when the credit posts, you will also remove that credit. If you're using restricted funds, make sure that you document the purpose and the direct benefit. Sponsored Programs has a form on the website that you can use, or you can use your own departmental form that has a place where you can put a purpose and have the PI sign. Any type of IT purchase that will be over $5,000 will require ITS approval. Since the purchase is going to be $5,000, you would require purchasing manager approval. Your purchasing manager will take care of getting that IT approval for you. If you have an item that you're wanting to purchase that's on state contract, we are required to use the state contract vendor. Procurement card journal vouchers, we also call them PC documents, are created in Banner based on like fund and org combinations. So any charge that has the same fund and org will all pull together. Because of the grouping of like fund and orgs, potentially you could have multiple credit cards that are all on one PC document. Just because you have a separate credit card doesn't mean you're going to have a PC document for each one. The queue levels, they're in alphabetical order, so when you're looking at the approval queues to determine where your document is sitting, you don't have to do anything once it's sitting in invoice final queue, and that is the only one. But if there are any above or below it, you need to notify those approvers so that they can approve that document for you in Banner. Also, don't wait till the very last minute to do your journal voucher. Sometimes things get disapproved and you have to correct those. If we disapprove a document and you have to make a correction, it has to go back through all those approval queues again, so it's best not to wait to the very last minute. Thank you for watching this information with me. If you have any questions, you can contact the Procurement Card Office at 325-2550.